What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday, it's Free Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Troy, you sound really quiet. Not sure what you're going to do about that. But in the meantime, your weekly reminder that Free Comic Book Day is approaching. We're about a month out from Free Comic Book Day, August 14th, Saturday, August 14th at your local comic shop. There's going to be all kinds of toys you can purchase. These are exclusive to the day. And then, of course, 50 titles you can get absolutely free. And it's like we have a really good selection this year. There's Star Wars, Archie, Assassin's Creed, Lady Mechanica. She's like a staple. Really, really good titles. So make sure you mark your calendar.
All right. And just for the people in the back, can you tell them one more time when Free Comic Book Day is?
Yeah, Saturday, August 14th.
All right,
Second Saturday in August. Not quite as catchy, but you know.
Yeah, not quite as catchy. Yeah, it works. Actually, do I sound better now?
Yes.
Do I sound like I'm in the room?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Yeah, sorry. Microphones are going to do what they want to do, apparently, sometimes. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Ashton, I don't know if you got a chance to catch this, but one of your comments on one of your comments on last week's show caused a stir. I got to be honest with you. I don't even understand why. I don't know why it has to come to this, but you mentioned, you liked Loki, right? You've been enjoying Loki, right? And you mentioned on the show, which I thought was a very great point, that you like how they humanized Loki. He's seen Ragnarok, he's his mother's death, and then Thanos. And this is a little bit of paraphrase, and I will admit that, right? He knows what's coming, and he's in a different headspace. And I think that's so cool. Like you said that last week, right?
Yes, definitely.
But the comment section, and Johnny, I don't want to put anybody on blast. we don't have to do the deep scroll. But the comment section erupted with, I got to be honest, people just not watching good.
Yes, literally that.
Like there was like this whole back and forth about, well, he didn't experience Ragnarok. All he saw was his mother's death, and he didn't meet Thanos. And also, I'm like, guys,
that's not even what I said. I didn't say he did those things and now he feels X, Y, and Z. I said he saw that those things would happen in another timeline. So he feels X, Y, and Z. Like, it's just user error, bro. You're just either not paying attention to the show and didn't realize that he saw those things, or you're not understanding what I'm saying. But either way, like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Don't get in the comment section yelling if you don't even know what we're talking about.
So I just wanted to call attention to that because I was just like, man, it's just, even when we're not trying to be controversial.
I thought that was a very, like, when you sent me that thread, I was beside myself because I was like, that is a very, I thought at the time, safe thing to say.
Right.
Apparently it was not.
Apparently not. Like, I don't get, I mean, look, you always have to be somewhat, when you're talking about Marvel Studios stuff, right? You always got to be somewhat aware of the Marvel Studios haters, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that you said that you're not crazy about everything Marvel does, right? But at the same time, like, I wouldn't consider you a hater. Like, you're actively enjoying Loki. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are just some people, like, no matter what you do, no matter what you say about these Marvel movies or TV shows, they're just going to find a reason to just pull it apart and mention Zack Snyder at some point. I don't quite understand.
Oh God, did he show up in the comments? Why?
No, I don't know if Snyder. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I just kind of stopped scrolling after a while I was looking at it. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone didn't mention this is why Zack Snyder's blah 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 is better. I don't know, but I did catch today's episode. I know we said we weren't gonna talk about Loki, so I'm gonna let it lie there. But I just wanted to call attention to that, and we'll talk more about Loki once the show is over because we don't want to speculate endlessly and truthfully just ruin the fun for us. Because I like to just watch things in peace. To be perfectly and totally honest with you guys, one of those people that goes to the movies by themselves because I like to watch things in peace. So. All right. Okay. Oh, actually, here we go. Question. Ira Jones. Are any comic shops in Connecticut still participating in Free Comic Book Day, FCBD? But yeah. Ashton, can you take this as a pretty simple
Yeah, definitely. Right? I'm sure there are. I don't know any off the top of my head, but if you head to freecomicbookday.com, at the top toolbar, there's an option up there that says find a shop. If you hit that, you can either use your location if you're on your phone, pop in your zip code, and it'll give you a list of everybody nearby that's participating. So that'll be the quickest and easiest way to find somebody near you.
Right. Exactly. So there you go. And I mean, look, there's a very good chance that someone in your neighborhood is participating. So just do your due diligence. Like, you know how you plan a vacation, plan for Free Comic Book Day.
Exactly.
And make sure you don't miss out on stuff. I'm actually really excited about the 2000 AD book, the Hershey disease sampler that they've got going. And I'm not just saying that because I got a Rob Williams interview coming up next. And
Ooh.
yeah, he's the writer of that. But yeah, kind of cool, very cool. I'm actually interested in diving into the world of 2000 AD. But you know what? Let's dive into some more comic books. How about that, Ashton?
Absolutely.
Hallelujah. It's new release Wednesday, right? So let's just do it. What's at comic shops? Ashton and I have our picks, and we're going to give you some of the featured items available this week. Hallelujah indeed, Ashton. I'm gonna let you go first because I'm bleeding from my face.
Oh, yikes. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just nicked myself when I was shaving before
Okay.
the show. So I want the camera off of me. Ashton, tell us what you're picking this week.
He's like, I want the
Johnny,
camera off me. Puts camera on him. Okay,
Johnny's
so Troy
such a
lobbed all
troll.
that up about comics. I'm actually not picking a comic book this week. I'm picking a collectible or statue, a figure, whatever you want to call it. So this is the Prince Zuko PVC statue from DST. It's part of their gallery line.
Okay.
It's 10 inches. It comes in their traditional window display box packaging. So if you want to leave him in there, you can do that and still get to kind of enjoy the way he looks. It's designed by Uriel Canton and sculpted by Salvador Gomes. I mean, you guys know, I love Avatar. I love Prince Zuko. I think he's amazing. I really like the way they've gone about this. And I think kind of my main gripe with Zuko figures across the board is sometimes his scar ends up looking really weird or taking up too much of his face or not having the right coloring or just like looking bad. They did a really good job capturing the way that looks on his face. And like we've said this before, we've talked about these PvP statues. They're really good quality. You get like a good bang for your buck. These are only $50 and you get like a nice size, really well sculpted statue. So I am super looking forward to getting my hands on this.
Okay, nice. I'm not shocked, but I'm also happy for you
Right.
that there is a Zuko statue because I know that's your boy. And I'm also noticing a trend here, Ash, and it seems like you like the rebellious brunettes.
Look,
Loki,
we all have a type or whatever.
Loki, Zuko. Who else is on that list? Like, for those of you who've been paying attention at home, let us know who is Ashton's bad boy this week.
Oh God, Jughead. Jughead's not like rebellious in the same way, but
Yep.
oh no.
You just put it all together. Just look at the little map and you got all the little connecting dots here. It's perfect. It's all right. It's all good, Ashton. No judgments here. My pick this week is actually a book called Tales Told in Technohorror. I actually pointed this out a few weeks ago, and we were talking about how cool the cover is. It's by Kieran Taghon and Christian Dabari. I hope I said Kieran's name correctly. And it's from Black Caravan. So Black Caravan is Scout Comics' new imprint, and it's focused entirely on horror, right? And the cool thing here is, first of all, yes, that cover is absolutely phenomenal. I love that cover. But also, it's kind of like an anthology series. So each book is going to have, first of all, you see it says season 1 on the title on the front. So it's not going to be released on a regular, monthly, month-to-month schedule. But the idea here is that you get to do a little anthology, so you get to switch it up issue to issue. And so I'm looking forward to it because I'm down for a horror anthology. I love the old school what is it, Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt, all that stuff, right? So yeah, check that out. There's some mail from Black Caravan, aka Scout Comics, and that's in your local comic shop right now. Let's see here. Okay, I thought there was something on your head, Ashton, but it was actually on my screen, so never mind.
Yikes.
I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, that's actually my screen. That's not Ashton.
Okay.
It's okay. Your head is okay.
All right, great.
All right, those are our picks this week. We're going to fork it over to Natasha because, look, of course, your local comic shop isn't the only place that you can get everything, right? No, I said that backwards.
That didn't make sense.
That didn't make sense at all. Your local comic shop isn't just for comics. There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, you can also get toys. So Natasha's here, and I'm going to stop talking, and she's going to show you what's inside the previews toy chest. So here we go.
Natasha here, and I'm going to give you a look at some of the new toys and collectibles in stores today. Here's this week's Previous Toy Chest. Be sure to check with your local comic shop for availability. And to see more, head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/toy-chest. There you'll feast your eyes on more hot new collectibles.
All right. Thank you, Natasha. And actually, Ashton, you're going to be out next week. So Natasha's going to join us next week to hang out with some special guests. I won't give it away just yet. But definitely jump in next week to hang out with Natasha and I as we welcome our special guests. And we'll have more on that probably early next week. We'll start letting you know who exactly that special guest is. Ready for some news?
Yes.
I love that you always think about it. Like every single time. You're like, am I ready? Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, you got to check in with yourself sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I respect it. I like it. That's absolutely, I think that's a lesson for life. You got to check in with yourself sometimes. Just make sure you're okay with it. Oh, actually, before we do that, I just want to point out, someone already called you out on your Jughead obsession.
Oh, dang. Got me. You got me.
So just, hey, look, it's well known. It's okay. We're all Team Jughead here on Previous World Weekly. Anyway, what's going on in the news? Something interesting involving a lawsuit, right, Ashton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very creative lawsuit. So just to kind of lob this up for you guys, there is a comic book store in the Houston area. It's called Third Planet Sci-Fi Superstore. It's been there for 46 years. It's like this institution of the Houston area. And then there's also the Crown Plaza River Oaks Hotel, which kind of towers over top of and looks down onto Third Planet. And so for years, Third Planet has kind of been the victim of unknown people launching heavy items onto the roof of their store from the balconies of the Crown Plaza Hotel. And it really runs the gamut of everything from like ceramic mugs to like luggage racks, cinder blocks, like lit cigarettes that caused a truck fire at one point in time.
Oh my God.
And most recently, and kind of the thing that spurred on this lawsuit was 16 fire extinguishers were launched onto the roof of this comic book store.
What is going on with this place? Like, is it like, are they just like opening up rooms to the team from Jackass? Like, what is going on over there? Jesus.
I need to know who's like, oh, I don't need this cinder block anymore.
Right. And these fire extinguishers, like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But so these cinder blocks created a hole in the roof. And so and then it rained, and then a bunch of product in the comic book store got damaged because the structural integrity of the roof was compromised. So, excuse me, Third Planet decided to sue Crown Plaza for, for the negligence and the mischief. Those are the two words they use, but I'm sure there's a lot of other things on that docket. And they did so by creating a 24-page full color comic book that kind of details start to finish everything that's happened between the two of them over the last several years. And it's really something. Like, they commissioned this. They had several writers and artists involved. It's been published. Like, it's a whole thing. And then they submitted it as evidence in their lawsuit.
Wow. Like, yeah, look at that. Like, I wonder how far this can go. Like, I mean, we talk about comics are kind of like a nifty tool to get through information quickly, kind of in some ways even educate people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wonder how effective this method will be. Like, I wonder if like just presenting in comic book form will get them to win this lawsuit. So
I feel like it has to have some weight behind it too, because it's like, this is such a David and Goliath thing. Like, I don't want to overlook that. 'Cause it's like tiny little comic book store sues giant like conglomerate hotel chain.
Yeah.
And come out swinging with a comic book. That's got to get attention. It's got to get somebody's attention.
Wow. What is like? I see the bowling alley fire extinguishers. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Like, I think negligent is actually the right word to describe this hotel. Like, people are just launching things out into first of all, out into the streets. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you could literally kill somebody by throwing a cinder block over the side out of a building. Like, and yeah, that's insane. Okay, so here's the location. All right, so yeah, how high? Okay, I guess it's across the street, or is it like further behind them, or I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure, and it didn't specify like where it was. It just said that it overlooked it, which I guess can be. I mean, it can't be across the street, because you would have to really be like doing shot put with a fire extinguisher to clear the street.
You really would. You really would. Like, you would have to be like you'd be doing like quarterback level like launches in order to like get it across the street. But yeah, I'm actually mostly just floored by the audacity of someone to like throw fire extinguishers and cinder blocks. Like,
Right.
not even in my most spring break like hotel adventures would I've ever thought of that. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. So I just thought that was interesting to mention. Like, yeah, I just thought it was very inventive and like different for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, hats off to you guys. I hope you win your lawsuit. I mean, full bias here. Like, shout out to you for making it happen. That's cool. Did a print run of them? Yeah, apparently they did a print run of them. I don't think it's yeah. I don't think it's like it's probably not readily available to us, but you know, I'm sure if you ask if you may contact them, see if maybe they'll give you a copy of it. We'll see. I wanted to point out something. So
read this comment.
The hotel have a trebuchet? I don't know what is a trebuchet. What's a trebuchet?
A trebuchet is like a catapult, but it's like, have you seen Lord of the Rings? You've seen.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, is that the thing that like just goes?
Yeah,
like
and
you launch over the wall of like castles and okay, there you go. Yeah. I knew the word and I was like, I know I've read this word probably a million times in comics, but I couldn't like picture what it was. Let me switch gears here for a second because I want to talk about something. I might get weirdly emotional for a second, Ashton, so I apologize.
It's okay. That's healthy.
So it is healthy. Like, you know, you guys can make fun of me all you want. I love Superman the movie. And I actually stand firmly on that. I believe it's actually still the greatest superhero movie of all time. Now, when we posted this, you know, I mentioned this before, sometimes when Johnny puts the show together and he's like scheduling it for the live stream, he'll have the thumbnail, and the thumbnail goes out into our social media feed. And of course, everybody and their mother wanted to fight me. Yes. Or fight us over the fact that the thumbnail said Superman is still the greatest superhero movie of all time. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah. And look, you can like what you like. I get it. I just want to, you know, voice my reason for why. And I also want to bring this up because, look, Richard Donner, the director of Superman the movie, passed away. Now, Richard Donner has not just directed Superman the movie, of course. He has directed Goonies. He has directed The Omen. He has directed all the Lethal Weapon films. You know, another underrated favorite of mine is actually Maverick with Jodie Foster and Mel Gibson. I just really enjoyed that movie for some reason. And so, yeah, like he passed away at the age of 91 on Monday. And so, look, I'll be honest, like I was kind of like, oh man, really, Richard Donner? Like, I know he hasn't made anything in a million years. He was also the producer of the X-Men movies. I actually failed to mention that. But at the same time, it was like, man, he was like, Richard Donner was like a real one. Like, you know what I mean? So I just kind of like, yeah, that kind of hurt me in the feels a little bit. And it got me kind of like thinking once again how great of a movie Superman is. You know, of course, it came out in 1978. But I think my main reason for truly appreciating that movie, especially over the years, is because it's Superman. Like, you know, like you look at the movies that come after Superman the movie, right? It's, you know, Superman, but he doesn't have his powers, so he's kind of a jerk and kind of a wimp. Like, you know, and kind of useless, right? It's Superman, but Superman's not good enough, so we put Richard Pryor in it because Superman, we're not sure if Superman's popular enough to carry his own movie. Then we jump forward to the Superman Returns, and it's like Superman through the lens of 1978, you know, the original movie, right? And then like we jump forward to Man of Steel and the Superman through the lens of 9/11. You know what I mean? Right. They always try to find reasons to like kind of to reframe Superman. The Superman the movie just wanted Superman to be Superman. Yeah. And there's a famous story about Richard Donner, which is that over his office and over his production office for Superman the movie, he had a sign that said verisimilitude, right? Which basically means the appearance of realism. And I always want to point out, not realism, but the appearance of realism, right? And that was his guiding light in addition to "You will believe a man can fly." That was his guiding light for the entire production of that first movie. And look, I understand it. Like, I always hate when people are like, oh, the special effects are dated. No, of course they are. It came out in 1978. Right. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Of course they are. But at the core of the story, it's still a great Superman story. And I don't think it's ever been duplicated. And yeah, it just kind of sucks to, like, you know, look, he was 91. Like, you know, he's definitely getting up there. But, and like I said, he hasn't made a movie in a while. But, you know, shout out to you, Richard Donner, because you made the purest comic book movie before it was cool to do so. So yeah, shout out to you. And yeah, thanks for creating some childhood memories, because yeah, Goonies, Superman the movie,
Yeah.
even Lethal Weapon. Like I don't even know why I was watching Lethal Weapon at a young age, but Lethal Weapon is my childhood. Like it was like all those things are from my childhood. So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Thank you, Richard Donner. Actually, speaking of comic book movie directors, Ashton, you brought something to my attention about Patty Jenkins. Did you want to delve into that real quick?
Yeah, she's mad.
I feel like Patty Jenkins has a lot of reasons to be mad lately, but go ahead.
That's probably true.
Yeah, what
Okay.
happened?
Yeah, I don't know that saying she's mad is necessarily 100% accurate. She is out there with her opinions, and I respect that. So basically, she's saying that she doesn't believe in the longevity of these day and date releases with theatrical and streaming service releases, and that they're kind of going to go the way of the birds. And I kind of like the way she thought about this. She framed it through the lens of COVID, which is really what this is about. And it was all about finding ways to make money on these movies when people couldn't go to the theaters.
Yeah.
But you can't get that same revenue off of these monthly charges as you would from a blockbuster weekend. So she thinks ultimately convenience is going to give way to money. And I kind of think she's right.
Yeah. No, I think that was the big thing I was wondering when HBO made the announcement that they were going to be doing simultaneous releases during COVID. And, I understand why theaters are mad, right? And I, like as I mentioned earlier, I'm one of those people. I will just like randomly on the Sunday morning be like, I'm going to go see some random movie just because I want to. You know what I mean? So I kind of cherish the theater going experience. I really enjoy that about movie watching. But at the same time, like I never thought about it in terms of the way that she framed it. Like, it's like, actually, that's a good point. Like, and I always wondered to myself, like, but would you like, okay, like Black Widow's about to come out, right? And Disney's going to charge $30 if you want to watch it at home versus going to the movie theaters and watching it, right?
Yeah.
And I always wondered, like, ultimately, when it comes down to dollars and cents, are you getting as much as the studio getting as much money from the at-home release, or an equal amount, or even an amount that justifies doing a simultaneous release? And it sounds like the answer is no. So I never really, I crossed my mind and I wondered about that, but I just kind of assumed like, oh, the studios know better than I do. But it sounds like, it's
I kind of think she's right. Like, I don't know that it's one of those things where it's going to just like go away. It's not going to be like, all right, we're not doing that anymore. I think it's going to be a thing where over time they realize that they're missing out on money, basically, I think is what it's going to come down to. Yeah. And they're going to kind of wean off of that. And I think some of these things are built for the movies. And that was kind of the whole argument that Legendary had with Dune, is that it's built for the movie-going experience. So you're not getting the same thing. Like, think about Endgame or Infinity War. You don't get the same impact watching it at home. So I think just from like an experience standpoint, you're missing something. And then also from like these guys want to make money, they're missing something. And I think those things are going to reconcile at some point. And I don't think this day and date whatever release thing is it doesn't have a long enough lifespan to be worth it.
No, absolutely, I'm with you on that. And like, it was a different perspective that I kind of confirmed what I was wondering about. So thanks for bringing that to my attention, because like I kind of got lost in the shuffle. I was actually Googling it and I couldn't find the comment like anywhere else. They were talking about her Rogue Squadron movie. I guess she made comments about Rogue Squadron simultaneously. But that was cool that you pointed that out to me. And I just thought it was also nice to highlight. So this week for our trailer, we're going to do something a little different. Normally we can show you guys a comic book trailer, but we actually have some cool 360s for this new series of Army Men. I don't know if you guys remember Army Men, but back in the day, you got the little plastic army men and you just kind of like built scenarios and like little war in your backyard or whatever, right? Yeah. Well, it just so happens that Fan Warps is doing Star Trek Army Men, but they're calling them Star Trek Nano Force. So take a look at these, and when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more. Or actually, we'll jump ahead to Social Swamp. All right, check it out. And yeah, like I said, that is Star Trek Nano Force, and that is available now to order on Previous World Pull Box. So yeah, if you're definitely interested, if you're definitely a Star Trek fan, definitely pick this up. And I think one of the things that's not featured in here is, okay, so you have two sets, right? You have the original series, right, which is of course Captain Kirk and Spock, et cetera, and then you have the Next Generation series, which is Jean-Luc Picard and Worf, et cetera. Both come with their own versions of the Star Trek ships. So that's actually an added bonus. Yeah. So it's like $25. They're scheduled to drop November. Make sure you get on the ground floor now and pre-order using Previous World Pull Box. I don't think we've actually mentioned that today. So yeah, if you get a chance, yeah, head on over to previewsworld.com/pullbox, sign up, and just type in search Star Trek Nano Force, and it'll pop right up. And like I said, November 3rd is dropping. I like that Q and Klingon. Thank you very much, Cheesy Crazy. You know what to do. You got your marching orders. Just head on over to previewsworld.com. All right. Social swamp time. How about that?
Social swamp time.
All right. I'm going to fork it over to Ashton, and we're going to get it going. Here you go. Social swamp.
Okay, so we're taking it easy this week with Social Swamp, asking you guys your opinion on first issue comic books. So we wanted, in your opinion, what is one of the best first issues in comics? What resonated with you or left an impact? So let's check out what you guys had to say. Lecho says crossover by Donny Cates. That just came out recently too.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Tony says, I agree with the others who have said Thunderbolts #1, Busiek and Bagley at the top of their game, and a great twist at the end. Perhaps the most memorable twist in modern comics.
Cool.
Chris says Walking Dead #1 is a masterpiece in modern comics.
Oh, wow. Strong claims.
It is. That is a big claim.
Come in swinging.
Dakota says, I think my first comic was Spawn #1, bought out of a local shop that at the time had a 25-cent bin. Used to come in with $5, leave with 20 comics. But Spawn to this day is my favorite superhero because of that comic dragging me into the insanely in-depth universes people made in comics. Paul says, Fables did it for me. So glad to hear they are going to continue the series. Michael says Immortal Hulk #1 set one hell of a precedent for violence and grit, and the series has gone on to be phenomenal. Andrew says, hands down, Stray Bullets. The first 6 issues are the best opening run on an ongoing book, with the first issue packing a real wallop.
Shout out to the use of the word wallop.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about you, Ashton? What #1 just kind of was like, oh man, I'm hooked. Like, I'm going to be reading this for a long time. Like, I know we've all had those. What's yours?
Yeah. So, okay, I have a bit of a story behind mine.
That's okay.
So
we love stories.
My pick is Undiscovered Country #1. And I had very, very high hopes for Undiscovered Country #1 because, and in San Diego it must have been 2019, Scott Sire and Charles Soule were there, and they got up during Image's presentation at the Diamond Retailer Breakfast, and they were like going to sell this thing to like comic shop owners, and they went on this crazy, like chaotic 15-minute like manic episode about this book and like what like this something about the, I couldn't even tell you, something about like the CIA and like what it means for America, and just like it was weird. The whole thing was weird. And I remember them getting off the stage and I'm like, I have no clue what they just said. I don't know what they're selling, but I'm buying it. And they totally delivered it. You guys know that's one of my favorites, but just like some crazy thing about like, you know, if we talk to the CIA, what they would say about what they were trying to say about America in this book. And I was like, I don't get it, but I'll buy it. And they totally delivered.
Okay, no, that's great. I'm actually curious. Actually, we'll talk about this once I do mine. But like, you know, just something to maybe put under your head once I'm done running my mouth is what makes a good #1 issue? Actually, now that I really think about it, like, you know, I'm also opening it up to the chat as well. You know, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, Troy, don't pick a Marvel book, don't pick an X-Men book, don't like, you know, I was like, don't do all the obvious things. But at the same time,
if you like it, you like it though, right? Like that's the whole point.
Right. You like what you like. And yeah, I'm definitely going to go with a classic. Like
Okay.
definitely X-Men #1. Like, it's a staple. I know I'm not alone in this. Like it just it was the book that just kind of consumed a whole generation of comic book fans. And it was also the beginning of Chris Claremont's swan song. I just actually watched a documentary about Chris Claremont's run on X-Men. Actually, it's actually a really good documentary on Amazon right now. I forget the full name, but just type in Chris Claremont. But of course, he'd been writing X-Men for like something like 18 years, and this was the end of his run. And like, of course, I didn't know that at the time when I picked it up, but like looking back on it now, I'm like, this is actually the perfect conclusion to like a 17-year run. Focuses on Magneto. A lot of the sins of the past come back to bite him. Or at least like he feels some kind of way about how he's been treated by the X-Men in the past. And yeah, it's just like kind of like a pitch perfect like finale for someone who's been like with these characters for such a long time. The only other one I was going to point out, because I got to do too, right? It's also a Marvel book. Sorry, guys. Shield, which is like, this is horrible glare on this, but there you go. Shield. That's Jonathan Hickman and Dustin Weaver. And, I've been a Shield fanboy for a while, but I've never quite gotten the Shield story that I wanted. And it was kind of great to kind of see someone just kind of like blow open the doors and say like Shield has been around, and Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and Isaac Newton have all been Shield agents, and Apocalypse took up the emblem of the Falcon that is the Shield emblem, in the Egyptian times, and fought the alien brood, and it was just really cool to see someone like think about these things in the way that like fanboys think about these things, right? Like
Right.
like this insane detail that you always want, but also just kind of gave me something I didn't. I mean, I know I've said that like I've always had I never quite got the Shield story I wanted, but I also didn't expect this, like
Right.
And I was absolutely obsessed with this book. Another thing I love about it too is it kind of forced me to run to Wikipedia every other couple pages, because there's complete fiction, but there's also historical fiction included in it as well. I mean, historical facts included in it as well. So, yeah, those are my big two. But yeah, I'm curious, Ashton, what do you think makes a good #1?
I think that's a great question. I think when some level, I think you need like compelling characters or characters you can get behind, be it like good guys or bad guys. So I think you need good characters. I think you need something to root for. I think like immediately, I don't know, for me, I think immediately there needs to be some sort of like action that you can get behind. Like, what are we trying to accomplish? How do I feel about it? What is this thing I'm cheering for? Like, I want to have something I can cheer for. Of course, fantastic art certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And I think some level of like dynamicism, like explosive art or really dynamic scenes, and then also like dynamic relationships.
Yeah. I think that's everything. Actually, I think that's absolutely perfect. We did the episode yesterday about the covers, right? Like the covers that drew you in, or I mean last week about the covers that drew you in.
Yeah.
And that is the first step, but also like how do you bring the boys to the yard, or the girls to the yard too, right? And now we'll break out into song. Okay, Johnny's got something prepped here. I kind of see. What you got, Johnny? What's going on?
Well, I want to say I'm right there with you.
Yep. Oh, you got a Jim? Is that Jim Lee?
No, I think that's Chris Claremont, actually.
That's Chris Claremont. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
see, we got a matching pair. I got Jim Lee. You got Chris Claremont.
do you have his autograph? Do you have Jim Lee's autograph on there?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if you can see it, but there it is, like right in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Look at us. Two halves of the Yin Yang twins.
The Yin Yang twins. the Oscar award winning.
Yes.
Yin Yang twins.
Also, one of the comics that got me into reading comics in the first place was McFarlane's run on Spider-Man.
Sure.
That is just amazing art. I absolutely love this one. This was a cult classic, Bone #1.
Oh,
also
wow.
autographed by Jeff Smith, artist and creator. Nice. So I got that autographed at Baltimore Comic-Con a couple years ago. Love this book. So like as a younger kid, like the cartoony characters in the front caught me, but then when I started reading it, it was like really just an amazing read.
Oh yeah.
And then the last one, a more modern one, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
There you go. Money in the Bank.
Love,
Nice.
love this book. I just think that the art in this is amazing. The way that they continue the story off of the Thanos wins storyline is just great. So as soon as I read about this character, I'm like, I need to know more about this, and this book did not disappoint. So I still have yet to catch up on Revenge of Cosmic Ghost Rider, but those are some of my ones. I was actually going to go cheesy, and when you said like your number one, I was going to be like, oh, well, the number one, the first comic you ever read, but that would have been cheating. But I picked that one anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is it? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this is the exact one, but this is among some of the first comics that I was ever handed down, and I think I've mentioned this before, but Superman number 9 from 1987.
Okay, yeah.
This was the first time in my life that I know today we all take crossovers for granted, but this was the first book that I ever read where I realized, oh my God, villains can cross over from one comic into the next. I thought the Joker was just in Batman. This little cover just blew my mind. I'm like, I need to have this. So I still remember that this is one of the first comics I ever picked up. So that's a little bit of cheating, not technically a number one, but it's a number one in my book.
No, I totally respect it. I totally like it. Actually, John, I'm curious, what do you think? What do you think makes a great number one?
To kind of go off of what Ashton was saying, I'm going to kind of paraphrase Billy Crystal from City Slickers. It's just one thing. And that one thing could be different for anyone. It could be the art. It could be the story. It could be the relationships between the characters. It really depends on like what a person is looking for when they read a comic. For me, I tend to gravitate towards the art since I am like a visual person as a videographer and a cameraman. I look for like the visuals. So anything that's striking to the eye is going to draw me in. And it's kind of what we've talked a little bit about in a previous episode of Previews World Weekly, where we were talking about like the cover art. It's like it tends to like lure you in, so that's what kind of gets me to read it. But again, if it doesn't have good writing or something that's going to like want to make you stick with the book, then it's kind of an effort futility. But I mean, I think it's just a melding, like Ashton was saying, of the art, of the story, of the relationships between the characters. But again, it's like it's whatever that one thing is that lures a person into reading comics. That's what's most important to that person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, Ashton, I think you put it. I love when people, I love using the word dynamicism, and I think that's it. I think that's everything. Like it has to be dynamic. Like, and that can be any range of things. It could be dynamic in action, it can be dynamic in character, it can be dynamic in art, but it has to be dynamic. So absolutely. Also, it looks like oops, hold on, totally screwed that up. New World Order Comics totally agrees with you, John Byrne, baby. John. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah. Now, this is not exactly a mint condition comic. It's got all kinds of like little creases along the edge. But this comic is well loved and will never leave my collection.
Exactly.
That's what matters.
Yeah. No, I definitely have some abused comics that I've had for a very, very long time. That like, I don't care. Like I've had it forever, and that's good for me. I mean, I've actually had this Jim Lee one since the 90s. I've had this one since the 90s because I had him sign it when I was like not even 20. Like I think I was like 17 or 16.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and like the pages are all brown, and the corners are all boxed. And I'm sure if I went to get a CGC grade, someone would be like, get out of here, but I don't care because I love it because it's mine, and I actually had the experience of reading it. So all right, cool. Let's weekly poll time. So it is Global Forgiveness Day, right? What's that about, Ashton? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so July 7th is Global Forgiveness Day. So we asked you guys on the Free Comic Book Day Twitter to tell us what pop culture character and their misdeed deserved some forgiveness today. And your choices were Peter Quill for having a freak out on Thanos and beating him up while they're trying to rip the Infinity Gauntlet off of his hand, or Kylo Ren for killing our beloved Han Solo. And this got some people worked up.
I bet. I could see, I could already tell that this was definitely going to get people worked up. You know what? We need Johnny back in here real quick.
And let me just start by saying I am not going to scroll down to look at some people's comments because
you're better off just if you guys are interested, you can check on your own time, but we're going to keep it.
There are some choice words there. People had very strong feelings about this, but you can see them for yourselves over at Twitter at Free Comic Book Day.
There you go. Right. We've got
free comic book.
We try to keep this show PG-13, guys.
We try, but it doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work. And 90% of the time is because we show the comment.
Literally.
But all right, so we got Kylo and Peter Quill. Let's just go around the room here. Ashton, who do you decide? Who do you think is forgivable? Who do you think is forgiven, and why is the other person not forgiven?
Oh God. Okay. Look. All right. That immediately like blew up my answer. Okay. I'm picking Kylo Ren. You know that I love a good redemption arc.
Okay.
So I think the reason that I like, look, Peter Quill's thing came from a place of like emotional attachment, right? It was about Gamora and his love for Gamora, which is very sweet. And so I don't know that necessarily is even in the same conversation in terms of forgiveness. Kylo Ren just straight up murdered his father. But then that came back to be useful 2 movies later, and they had like a come to Jesus moment and everything. I think in terms of like actual real forgiveness for like a bad deed, it's got to be Kylo Ren, because Peter is operating from a place of emotion. I guess they both were, but you know, the output was different.
So definitely. So okay, I'm sorry. So I'm just making sure I understand. So Peter Quill, not worried about him. You say Kylo needs forgiveness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Okay. What about you, Johnny? Where do you fall on this?
Well, I wanted to see your argument with this because I'm the one that has to end up doing the voting.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll go next. To hell with Kylo Ren. Like, seriously.
All right. That's fine.
Kylo Ren, don't care about him. Don't like him. Like, he's a jerk and a crybaby, and he takes daddy issues to a new level that's not even like respectable. So yeah. And also he killed the coolest character in Star Wars. Don't get me started. Anyway, you know what? Like, I saw people being mad about the Peter Quill thing when Infinity War came out. But I mean, I get it. He's like a man baby. Like, you know, and it's his first, I'm pretty certain like it's like his first honest to God girlfriend on top of that Gamora. Like, he's been in space like since he was like what, 14, 13.
Right.
You know, and so I was like, I get it. Like, and also Thanos definitely like tossed his adopted daughter off the side of a cliff. So I'm like, yeah, was it poorly timed? Yes. But at the same time, I understand Peter. I think Peter deserves forgiveness. Kylo Ren could just, you know, throw Kylo Ren to the ground.
Kick rocks. Can I say I immediately was like, I kind of was like, I feel like I need to pick Kylo Ren, like just to stir the pot.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that's your default. Like, Ashton's always going to be like, how do I stir the pot? No, I understand. I respect it. That's what we're here to do sometimes, you know? Actually, we do have Ubaldo, our good friend Ubaldo. He's agree. Why Han? Why Han?
I'll tell you why Han, because Harrison Ford said so.
No, that's also true. Like, you got to acknowledge the fact that, outside of like what's being presented on screen, Harrison Ford's been trying to like not do Star Wars for like 20 years. And it just were like, here's more money. And he's like, all right, but I got to die because I'm not coming back for any more of these, even though he came back as a Force Ghost later.
But he's perfectly fine making another like Indiana Jones movie.
Well, that's because, all right. See, I'm about to say something controversial. So
yeah,
bring it on. Let's do it.
Put a lid on that, maybe.
After the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, seriously, I'm like, you're gonna make another one.
Yeah, I understand. Look, oh man, this is a whole other conversation. Hey, look, Indiana Jones is way cooler. Han Solo's cool, but Indiana Jones is cooler.
I'm gonna say fat disagree there.
Indiana Jones is like
way cooler than Han Solo.
Okay, do I have to get in between you? There we go. Now
there you go.
All right, stop. I'm gonna hold you back.
Ready to throw hands.
Fisticuffs.
You catch these rings.
We're getting into this on a future episode. This is going to happen.
I'm about to say, no fair. Ashton's got rings on her fingers. This is like cheating.
She's got there's 50 bracelets on her arms. You can hear her from a mile away. Yeah, she will hurt you.
Ashton
I'm not sneaky.
You've seen the meme that says like, what if like Indiana Jones is just like the fever dream that Han Solo is actually having in Carbonite?
I have heard that, and I think that's hilarious. Actually, I actually do love that. I think that's a great fan theory.
Yes, it's getting ugly. Okay. Anyway, back to the poll.
Right. Yes, this
got totally sidetracked.
Butterfly.
Right.
Oh.
This is tough though, because like think of what the consequences of these actions are. Like if Peter Quill had kept his cool, he could have helped prevent the slaughter of like half the universe.
True. Yes.
Mhm.
But what's that worse? Like that his inability to like compose himself, becoming a factor in that, or like Kylo Ren committing patricide.
Patricide.
That's what it is. It's the killing of one's father. It's patricide.
No, I understand. I just, you came locked and loaded with that word.
That
And
one,
caught me off guard.
No, I literally just looked it up like a minute ago. I'm like, what is the term for that? I know there's a term.
For killing your father.
But it also, like, the Han thing helped him, like, return to the good side and, like, do the right thing and kill the Emperor and all that jazz.
I mean, if you care about Rise of Skywalker, sure, but okay.
I mean, if you care about any of those movies, you have to acknowledge that there were plots, albeit a lot of holes involved with them.
And think about this. Doctor Strange did his fast forward into the future when they were on Titan. He said he saw 14,605 different possible futures. And in each of those possible futures, he only could win in one. So regardless of what Peter Quill did, everything about that was still involved him winning. So the universe winning, no matter what happened.
So maybe Peter Quill had to do it.
So maybe it wasn't just Iron Man surviving. Maybe it was Peter Quill had to bring him out of that trance that Mantis had him in. That shoestring of a theory is why I'm going to play with Peter Quill. And 69% of people agree, whereas 31% say that Kylo Ren is more deserving of forgiveness. On today, July 7th, Global Forgiveness Day.
All right. No, look, hey, Peter Quill deserves forgiveness. I'm with it. So I agree 100%. What is this? Han is cooler. I mean, look, it's by a percentage.
You're right. I mean? He's cooler.
It's by a percentage that I say Han is cooler. I mean that Han is cooler. I mean, sorry, Indiana Jones is cool.
Yeah, I mean, you've admitted it twice now.
I just Freudian slip, I guess. All right. What is the comic shop shout out for oh no, wait. Johnny, are we doing the Fast and Furious thing?
I certainly hope we are.
Okay, yes. Before we do comic shop shout out, look, I'm sure if you have been on the internet for for the last 5 or 6 days, right? You've been bombarded with these Fast and Furious Dom family memes. And I just wanted to showcase some of them because I think they're still hilarious. And I never don't think they're funny. They're never not funny. This one in particular. I love the import car just driving, just making donuts down on the grass of Wakanda.
I actually hadn't seen this particular one yet.
Johnny, do we have some more? This is great. This is another great one. What else we got?
Dogs are family.
All right, we need some direction. They took my dogs. Say no more. Dogs are family. Let's get them. These are my terrible voices. Let's see. Dom, what are you doing? The dark side's no match for family. And Darth Vader just cuts him in half.
I guess there's a limit on it.
I got something that you don't. Batman says, please don't say it. Family.
That's petty.
That's a good one. Yeah, people love to just throw dirt on Batman.
And last but not least, let's see, Dom. Wait, you're not force sensitive. You don't need the force when you've got family.
I just think these are so funny. Please just keep them coming. Don't ever stop doing this, internet. I know the movie just came out, and so it's fresh, but just here to eternity. Just give me Dom family memes. I'm all for it.
Now let me ask you this: do you think this is going to replace the Anakin Padme meme that's been circling around the internet?
That for a second there it did. Yeah. I don't know. That is another one that's kind of evergreen though. I haven't gotten tired of that one either. So we'll see. All right, for real this time. Comic shop shout out, Ashton. What's going on this week?
Right. Yes. Okay. This week's comic shop shout out goes to Atomic Empire from Burn Dog, which is hilarious. So we'll show you some pictures from inside of their store at the end of the show, give them some love. And if you want to shout out your comic shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name, and also use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We will find your post, shout out your shop on the show, and give them some love.
There you go. Thank you very much. And actually, I have one more side that involves Fast and the Furious. So, of course, 4th of July happened this past week. Definitely went to a barbecue, and I was sitting next to my fiance, right? And someone had brought beer in. It was Corona, right?
All right,
And
appropriate.
right, the setup's already there. And so Liz was like, "Do you want one?" Right? And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take one." So she came back, she gave it to me, and I was like, "Now you're family." And she rolled her eyes so hard at me. She rolled her eyes so hard.
You have a keeper, my friend.
There you go. She rolled her eyes so hard that she almost fell asleep. It was amazing.
I respect you for that.
Thank you. You know what? I felt good about it, regardless of how she felt about it.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. There you go. Anyway, all right. So, look, that's about it for this week's show, guys. Yeah, we're about 51 minutes. We give you a comic shop shout out and everything, right? And we talked about Fast and Furious way too long, and
No
Han
such thing.
versus Indiana Jones way too long. Also, yeah, no such thing. Real quick, I wanted to point you guys to a couple of things that are going on PREVIEWSworld.com right now. Number one, yes, the Black Widow movie is coming out this week. I got my ticket. Did you? And I did an interview with Camille Richardson and photographer Joe Carabeo because he did this really cool Black Widow photo shoot. So definitely check that out. That's on PREVIEWSworld.com right now. Camille gives some interesting answers. Like I kind of basically was like, just tell me why you did the photo shoot. And what she came back with was actually like a surprisingly emotional reason of why she connects to Black Widow, like why she connects to that character. And I also got to give her respect because like she definitely did the fangirl thing. It was like, if they had gotten her right in the MCU more than like 2 times, I was like, you know what, I can't hate on that. That's fair. Totally respect. The other one this week, I did an interview for Swamp Dogs. And that's on PREVIEWSworld.com right now. We were talking earlier about Black Caravan, the horror line from Scout Comics. Swamp Dogs is their next big thing. And so that's going to be coming soon to a comic shop near you. It's not available to pre-order yet, but you can get on the ground floor and find out a little bit about it today. It's a bit more risque, right? Definitely a grindhouse exploitation B movie type of thing, right? That they brought into the comic form. So definitely take a look at that and check that out. Thank you for scrolling past it very quickly, Johnny, because it gets mildly inappropriate after a while. And that's it. Hey guys, like, follow, subscribe. Be sure to check us out every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Pacific. And I represent PREVIEWSworld. Ashton represents Free Comic Book Day. So hang out with us. Follow us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. Free Comic Book Day has a TikTok. So definitely show that some love if you're into TikTok. And that's it for PREVIEWSworld Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
And we'll see you at the Spinner Rack. How about that? Catch you guys later.
Don't forget that you can catch PREVIEWSworld Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at PREVIEWSworld on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.